All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Chase Corrington. This is the Chase Corrington YouTube channel, where we seek to achieve and maintain happiness through enlightenment, seek to discover the hidden mysteries of our reality and the hidden wisdom of the ages and all kinds of things around those areas: spirituality, self-development, personal development, if you prefer to put it that way, the advancement of consciousness, conspiracies, if that's what you want to call those things, the deeper truths, the hidden things. But really, have you ever watched Mystery Science Theater 3000? Because, no, I'm kidding. I was going to sing the song, but but we fix our camera there. So I was listening to Eckhart Tolle this morning, speaking with Russell Brand on his podcast. I don't really ever listen to Russell Brand on his podcast, but I know he talks about wonderful subjects around higher consciousness and spirituality and enlightenment and all the things that I seem to be so fascinated with. You know, it's funny, years ago I thought Russell Brand was quite a crazy actor. And it's funny that years later you find out how many people are into the deeper truths of reality, whether it be spirituality or all the way on the opposite end of the dark conspiracies, you know. But either way, it's fascinating. So listening to that episode, show, or interview, or whatever you want to call it, they were talking about going beyond the ego. And Eckhart Tolle is well known for, you know, be here now, being in the moment, the philosophy of the now, and not living in the future or the past. And this is something I have always found great interest in, is the ability to be in the moment and operate, function with higher capability because of your ability to operate from the moment rather than with a connection to the past or the future. Now, some might say and argue that, you know, if you learn from the past and plan for the future, you can operate with a higher ability. I'm not here to debate that. I'm just saying that there are many of us who get so caught up in our futures and pasts, the possibilities and the worries and the hopes and the desires and the struggles that may or may not and have or have not happened, will or will not, worry and fear, and it takes over and stops our ability to operate from the present moment. So in this interview, this show, or this episode of the podcast, Eckhart was talking about this way of being, and I've heard Wayne Dyer reference it too. It's like just letting go and letting God. And I kind of referenced this in my last video about the Tao. I think it was verse 3 of the Tao Te Ching, but it's like this ability to let go of the attachment to results. And in my mind, it screams, don't worry about perfection, because I want to make these kind of videos like every day. And almost 98% of the time, something happens in my thought process, whether it be a self-judgment, a worry of judgment from others, or something that says I don't have the right lighting or the right situation, like I shouldn't take advantage of the time that I have while I'm commuting to do this, because people would tell you it's stupid and dangerous. You know, I'm like, I've been having all these difficulties and these mental blockages that keep me from doing this, the things this and the rest of the things that I want to do with, CLC paint and my painting business and everything that I'm trying to do in life, it seems I'm going through some kind of, we're always going through some kind of mental development, whether we like to see it or not. Every challenge, and this was something else that Eckhart Tolle touched on in the podcast, was that every challenge that we get, not even that we chose it, but even if we didn't choose it, every challenge that we get is an opportunity for growth. And the more challenging, the more growth opportunity. Some might say, I lose everything. How is that a growth opportunity? And it's like, it's not a growth opportunity unless you can recognize it as such. And it's like later, down the road, after you go through it and develop it, what you needed to develop in your consciousness, in your whatever level of consciousness you're at, thinking of David Hawkins and the scale of consciousness. But this is what Eckhart Tolle was saying, Eckhart Tolle, however you want to pronounce it. He's like, you each struggle that we deal with, when we have the ability to become the witness and recognize our disconnection from our emotional state and our ability to grow, in the opportunity that we're given, then down the road, it's a chance to elevate our consciousness through adversity. I feel like I'm going all over the place here, but that's just who I am. And that's something else I was learning yesterday, was the separation of DNA and authenticity. Your DNA inspires your passion, and your authenticity, there's a cute fox running across the road. Yes, he made it. Safety. But your authenticity is the most important thing when it comes to this, creating content. And kind of the subject I'm beating around here is me having trouble making content when I want to, because I can't get over this ego and this. So this is what made me want to talk about the podcast this morning, Getting Past Ego with Eckhart Tolle and Russell Brand. And it was like, there was a way of operation to where you are not worried about the outcomes. And you're not like pre-thinking what you're gonna say. It just happens. It's a separation between being and doing. When we are doing, we are thinking and planning and structuring and dissecting and disseminating and all of these things that are not so harmonious with the flow of just being. So when we are just being, like, it makes me think of the Tao. The Tao does nothing, yet leaves nothing undone. That's because the Tao just bees it all. Hypothetically. I know bees it all isn't phonetically, or, it's not even a word, but if this is making sense to you, if this is resonating, then you know kind of where I'm going with this. It's like there is a way to just be, like I am doing right now. I'm not pre-planning what I'm going to say. I tell many of my friends I'm all over the place, and they go, yeah, we know. But it's fun. It's fun to flow with your train of thoughts and makes me think of the ancient philosophers who were trying to express the thoughts into words with greater ability. Because it's not easy to articulate your experience and, feeling your individual experience that's unique to every single person, and find a way to articulate that in a way that it relates understandably to other people's experiences, which are entirely individual on their own. And I think that's the beauty of this. So what I was getting at is, I don't even know what I'm going to title this video. All over the place car rant. But it's like getting past the ego to just being able to be rather than trying to do. Just be rather than trying to do. It's like document, don't create. Just document what you are expressing rather than trying to do or create a whole bunch of stuff. This whole content creation lifestyle is very fascinating. We're going to safely... No, I'm not going to... There we go. Now we've got the clear. Safely crossing. Man, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. Getting over the judgment, the self-judgment, and you project the judgment of yourself onto other people. It's like when you want to ask people a question, but you're like, no, they're going to say no, and it's never going to work out. And it's like, why do we do this to ourselves? And why do we keep ourselves from flowing in passion and, just being, rather than worrying about what we're doing and how we're doing it? It's difficult. Like, even in my mind right now, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't post this video because I have this weird uncomfortability. But I'm literally going to get out of my car right now, and I'm going to post a video, and we're going to title it Going Beyond Ego from Doing to Being. I like that title. Going Beyond Ego from Doing to Being. If you get value from my content, consider subscribing. Smash or gently tap the like button. And consider sharing this video with somebody who could get value with it, or just share it to your Facebook timeline, wherever. Email somebody directly. But all those kind of things do a whole lot for the distribution and the growth related to the algorithm. The algorithms are just automated. It's like, oh, this video had somebody hit the like button, maybe this other person will hit the like button, distribute. So if you've never heard that explained, that's kind of a very rough overview of that. But I truly appreciate everybody that watches these videos. I'll be back in the future with more interesting topics and rants, conversations, thoughts, my experience to share and throw your way. Thank you.